Hello, people of the internet. My name is Oduri Jagero. This is Dialogues with Jagero. We are with Sexologist.
Vagina whisperer. I love the sexologist thing. I am a bit psycho, hence why I'm good at what I do. You can't be normal in this trade. You just can't.
Okay. Today we are going to be talking about relationships in the office, sex in the office, people banging in the bathroom, people banging at the lodge during the get-together and, things like that. Mombasa, Zanzibar, where everything is going on.
South Africa, England.
Yes. And
yes.
The boss is telling you, before I give you this job, gotta eat something.
Of course. And that boss can be male or female.
And a lot of crazy things going on.
Of course.
And the employee is like, do I do this or do I not? If you don't, you're fired.
Yes. Or I'll make your life at work miserable.
Miserable.
It happens.
We want to talk about it because what I've realized that these are humans in a workplace.
Correct.
And wherever humans are, whenever they are,
yes,
there is going to be relationships.
Correct. There's going to be connections first.
There are going to be connections.
Yes.
So what is the problem? We okay, yeah? Oh, great.
there's never a problem when you and I are on this. Like, what is the problem?
It's always bonkers.
Of course.
Tell me what is going on in the workspace. Don't zero in on anything.
Okay.
Give an overview of what happens in the workplace and why we can't get rid of sex and relationships in the workplace.
Well, number one, as you said, that's where a lot of humans get to congregate. They get to spend many hours together. They get to share, apart from work, they get to share about their private issues or their private desires that they can't share at home. So you find when you are in an environment where you're spending 40, 60-hour weeks, where at home, on average, you're spending 10 hours. 10 hours versus 40, 60 hours. I believe the woman, if that's my inclination, the woman I'm going to connect, or women I'm going to connect with, at some point, I'm going to have some relationship with one of them or many of them. It's because, number one, as humans, we love affirmation. We love feeling good. And sometimes the work environment is where people compliment one another. It's where we share. It's where I, as a man, can be open with my feelings to somebody I feel is part of my tribe, my connection, my collective, like-minded kind of person. Maybe I've shared a kink that I can't share at home, and she can avail it. So in the workplace, it's where, regardless of the fact that, workplaces have policies on how you should conduct yourself, we're still going to mingle. We're still going to go for lunch. We're still going to do that coffee. I'm still going to meet somebody who makes me smile. And a smile is loaded. You just smiled right now when I said you meet somebody who smiles. So clearly, we all want to smile. So if you're getting that energy, that positive energy, and sometimes it can be flirtatious and sexual, of course, sexuality is going to thrive in the workplace. It just is. Hence, my attire today.
Endorphins released in the workplace cause nipples to harden.
Exactly.
Vaginas to throb.
There you go.
Can you explain that?
What I'm trying to say is, regardless of where we are, there's always going to be some sexual energy. And sometimes you find the women who have told me, my husband rarely tells me I'm cute. But at work, there are men who keep complimenting my hair, my nails, my physique. Maybe I go to the gym or whatever, or a dress that I wore, or shoes. But at home, nobody notices. And this is not a bad person, good person thing. It's just where you find positive energy.
I've actually seen that.
We're going to want to be lured to it. We're going to be attracted to it.
I've actually seen that when a woman walks into the office and people are going, whoa, look at the queen.
I know. And guess what? She might say, I don't love the attention, but really quietly, she loves the attention. It's amazing. It makes her feel like, wow, I'm still in it. I still got game. Whereas if nobody noticed you, that would be a really boring world. So that sexual energy is always going to exist.
There is generally the office code of conduct. Or the work environment code of conduct.
You said that with such a serious face. Was that intentional? Office code of conduct. Okay, yeah.
They are not in favor of it.
Well, the same people who wrote the codes are the ones who sometimes go against the codes. they are the bosses. And sometimes the bosses will tell his subordinates that if you really want to climb this ladder, when we go for that seminar, I'm in room 205. Thank you very much. And that boss can either be male or female. And many people have grown out of that. That's never going to change. It's just not going to change. So, yes, there is an appropriate conduct, but how many of them follow it? And if they do, they keenly try and follow it as they seek for their desires. It's as simple as, are we doing coffee today? And that are we doing coffee means I would like to meet you outside the office because people in the office may talk or people may notice that we're together or we're trying to be together. So at the end of the day, you're not going to stop these relationships from growing because it's people we spend so much time with. Fact. And sometimes, whether you like it or not, the energy that you're getting from people in the office can far outweigh the energy you're getting at home. That's just that. Maybe the energy at home has flatlined. This has nothing to do with the person at home is boring. He's probably getting energy somewhere else, or they're probably getting energy somewhere else. But the point is, if we don't maintain certain energies at home, they will thrive in environments like the office. It's as simple as that.
So let's talk about employers.
Okay.
And how they should be able to deal with it. Then we are going to talk about the employees themselves. If I'm attracted to somebody, what is the best course of action to take? So let's start with the employers.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's start with this. I've been contracted by foreign companies to talk to their employees on how sexuality can affect you. There are degrees where it can affect you positively, but there's also now the worry of it's affecting me negatively, so I'm not being productive at work. And I don't know, foreign companies seem to listen and believe in me, but Kenyan companies don't. Why is that? It's so weird.
Well, I have a lot of things to say about Kenyan companies.
Right.
A lot of things to do. Let me tell you a story. I ran an event called CMS Africa Summit.
Okay.
We had one just last week.
Right.
We had 4 sponsors from America and 1 from Europe.
Right.
We had 0 sponsors from Kenya. You know,
I'm not surprised.
My take is that the people that we put in our marketing departments in this country are not really after the good of the company.
All right. I would agree.
And when you send them a proposal on how you can work together to build what you're doing and also build them, they tend to look at who is Matheka.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at what Matheka is proposing.
Yet I can help you.
Yes.
Because I understand the psychology behind what will improve your environment.
Instead of looking at what Matheka is putting on the table and want to discuss on the table, you're busy looking at who Matheka is.
Yes.
And that is the problem I've found. I write cold emails to Americans and Europeans.
Yes.
They look at the value that I am proposing.
Right.
You know, like for example, there is a company called 2x4,
right,
which sells something called Better Energy.
Okay,
you spray it on your tongue,
right,
and suddenly it's a version of Viagra, and they have come up together with like 6 scientists and made it.
I like the fact that it's on the tongue. I think I should try it as well.
Yeah, you are old, you try it.
I love things that fizzle and tickle my tongue.
So, I wrote them an email.
Right.
And they responded.
Okay.
Positively.
Yes.
And they say, why can't we have a chat about it?
Okay.
So anyway, that is the problem that I've always had with Kenyan and African companies.
Okay.
They don't want to look at the proposal on the table and how it is going to sell the company or sell the brand.
Right.
Instead, they want to get into these friendships, these dubious friendships that then they get into, and then they give their friend this, do this, and then they give their friend this, do this. And at the end of the day, the company does not actually get anything out of it. Anyway, back to you.
Okay. I always find it's very important to teach people why they behave the way they do. not to limit the behavior, but for them to be very much aware of, now I understand the way I behave the way I do in the office environment. So they tend to now have a conscious mind on how to reduce that behavior. But if you just let it thrive, it's not going to change just because you send somebody a threatening letter twice. It's not going to change. But if you teach your staff why they behave the way they do, the kind of neurochemicals that make them behave the way they do, profiling to the point of what is even happening at home. Because you can speak to people as individuals in an office, and you can also speak to them as a group. It just depends on what you and that company have decided on. But all I can say is, one of the things that I've seen change over many years is when our fathers went to work, they had time to go to work, which was 8:30 to 5 or 9 to 5. Lunch was 2 hours, so they actually drove home, had lunch, family time, Saturdays family time. Today, we have 1 hour of lunch, 40, 60-hour weeks. We've got too many other side hustles, so we're spending 8 to 10 hours with the people we allege to love. Yet in the office, we're spending at least a minimum of 40, 50 hours with people of different sex. And with that comes the whole question of, where will I release my energy the best? And it'll be in the office. I will look forward to seminars more than going home. Seminars are not every day, but every time we're going to Diani or Zanzibar or South Africa, I'm like, whoa, I am so happy. I have met people who have told me, you know what, I go to work, I love my work, but there's something more than just loving my work. There's a guy who I like, or there's a woman who I like. They don't know I like them that way. And I just look forward to our lunch. I look forward to our coffee. I probably will never tell them how I really feel, but they're the reason why I wake up at 4, shower, I'm smiling. My partner thinks I'm smiling because I'm just happy generally, but I'm smiling because I love my job and I love somebody who for 1 hour or for whatever chunks of minutes I can steal from them, they make me feel whole. You're not going to stop that as long as we have these very busy environments where people are not showing love. Even that family outing on a Sunday, it's very mechanical. It's the kids have to go and play. The kids have to go for Chinese. The kids have to do, it's not a family where, you know, you look into your partner's eyes and you're like, how was your week? And you really cherish what was happening. There's none of that. It's very, we have those moments with the people we take to Naivasha. Fact. That seminar for a week, in all those bedrooms, that's where we share our inner thoughts with people who are not signatories anywhere, but they're signatories down there, exposed to this. You see what I'm saying? So as long as you've got that environment, you'll find that sexual relationships in the office setting are not going to change. If anything, they're thriving. Funny enough, when you told me we're going to do this interview, it hit me that years ago, you just forget some of these things. Years ago, when I say years ago, I'm talking about like probably over 10 years ago, I did my own research on my own time. You're going to think this is nuts. I was going to different hotels of certain classification and just by luck, no appointment, nothing, whoever you meet at the reception, and you just ask them a question, like between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., how busy are you? You meet a receptionist who is very friendly. You meet some who are like, I'm sorry, but I can't give you that information. And you just walk off. Or as you're walking off, you meet somebody else, a janitor or whatever, and they know the information. And what I found out is between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m., there's a lot of fuckery happening in these big hotels. A lot, to the point that you find some of the hotels, they're 5-star, 6-star, they actually have double bookings in certain rooms. There's certain rooms that are just there for sex. Isn't that amazing? Somebody somewhere is being massaged at 1 p.m. And I can only think the only person who can basically release themselves from work between those hours are management and the senior guys and directors and stuff like that. So when he says, I'm popping off for a meeting or I'm popping off for some golf, he's golfing between a vagina or maybe stroking a penis, who knows? But you get the story. And that was like, wow. Like they had a lot of bookings within those hours, even compared to nighttime, because nighttime everybody has to go and play family. So that was interesting.
You have been called to a seminar and you need to talk to these employees and employers together.
Yes.
In a normal scenario, what are you going to be telling the employees about what is going on at the workplace?
Well, the first thing is to find out what it is that their issue is. I need to speak on topics that are relevant to them. Some are more conservative, some are more liberal. If you look at the Muzungus who have hired me, they usually say, Maurice, just be you. Because I think being you, partly it'll scare guys, and I need you to scare my staff. And I need you to touch on A, B, C, D. So it's not me formulating the program. We're just going to agree what's relevant. I'll chime in and I will tell them, I think we've left this out and this is very uniquely important. But at the end of the day, the goal is to educate people on why they behave the way they do, and also try and give the company a good image. It's as simple as this. Can you make my workforce more productive by teaching them the things they need to avoid? I don't care who wants to deal with who, but can they not do it in my time? They can do it elsewhere. That's all employees want to hear. That you can create dialogue that makes sense. Like one of the things is, and this is just a human thing, I have to profile what your problem is. Then I'll give you a write-up of what needs to be discussed. And then that's it. It's as simple as that. And I've always got feedback in regards to, it's never going to be 100%, but you made impact because most people thought their behavior was just normal. It's not abnormal, but they could transition that energy elsewhere. You don't have to be bonking in the washrooms. You just don't. It's very sexy if you're doing a movie, but you just don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be at your computer and all you're thinking about is the guy next to you. There's a way to channel that energy so you're productive here, and whatever you and that person arrange outside the work environment works for you and also works for your environment and your employee. That's it. It's as simple as that. Or employer, sorry.
But then why do people bang in the bathroom though? On the desk, on the corridor.
They bang because at that point, the moment presents itself. I mean, we've all done stuff that, looking back, you're like, oh my God, that was so naughty. And that's part of life, yeah? I've banged on a few desks and I don't regret it. One was glass. How it survived, nobody knows. But the point is, it happens. But I'm not going to encourage people to bang on desks, unless you're just malicious and you want to do it on your boss's desk. But that's not why I'm going there. Yeah. But the point is, all these experiences happened. You're also doing it in the office environment because that's where the sexual energy is. There are people who will tell you, this only works for me when we're in the office. Like, I'm attracted to that person in the office. But if they ask me out for coffee looks like we might move into our homes and our apartment. I want this thrill here. I want to steal a kiss on the corridor and hope nobody saw, but I hope somebody saw. It's the thrill. But now if you tell this person, do you want to spend our entire week with them in Nyanyuki? No, that's not it. The vibe is here. So you need to understand, you need to teach them why they behave that way. And if anything, the only option is you need to take that energy outside the office. Because inside the office, it might not make you as productive as you should be. It's as simple as that. So those are the things that now, depending on who's contracting you, that you're going to discuss with the employees. And like I said, sometimes it's a group, and sometimes you may have a group, and then you also have a contract to talk to them individually. Because as a group, you're just giving them an overview, but individually is where you can profile. And obviously, it's confidential in terms of when I'm giving my report, I'm not isolating people, but I can give a report of the personalities that you have and what best works for them in terms of how they behave and how they can basically control themselves. Simple as that.
I am attracted to to a lady in the office, how do I deal with it?
Well,
knowing that the rules are very strict, the policy that we were talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, people in offices flirt every time. Even when they're working, they flirt. When they're projecting something, somebody will say a slight comment, and if you guys click that way, people will laugh. They'll be like, "Oh, you're cheeky, I know it." So people flirt. So as much as it's strict, it's the party poopers is that really strict boss. Yeah, probably because they don't get some very often, but that's another episode. I just feel that if you're attracted to a woman, the best thing you can do is you can make a conscious decision and tell yourself, if I'm attracted to her, can it not affect my work? Because at some point you'll be a stalker if you're just prowling next to her desk. Yeah, it moves from attracted guy to, oh my God, you're a stalker. That's how you end up following her to a house, and she can see you loitering outside, and then she calls the police and stuff like that. So that escalates. So it's good to teach people why that attraction is there. What is it that you're lacking? Like, for example, if you have a wife, I'm not saying you should stick to your wife. I'm just saying if you have a wife, why is the attraction not there and the energy is here? So we need to figure that out.
Why are you saying that we shouldn't stick to our wives? That's scandalous.
Sorry?
Why are you saying
no, you can stick to your wife if you want. What I'm trying to say is, that's not my job. If you want that, go to a priest. I ain't one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a priest. Did you think I was? My God.
Can you expound on what you're saying?
What I'm trying to say is, it's not my job to tell people where to take their sexual energy. It's my job to teach people why they react the way they do. Okay. Where they want to channel it is their business.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes,
go
ahead. I don't conform to, oh yeah, everyone should stick to their partners. You know what? If you need that, go to a church. That's not me. Never will be. I'm too old for that shit. Maybe when I was 22, a long time ago. And the things I did then, that was bad. So clearly, that's not what I subscribe to. But I do subscribe to teaching people why they behave the way they do. For example, I mentor couples who believe in monogamy. So I need to teach them how to stay away from the energies and the social influences that can kill their subscribed monogamy. So I'm not telling them.
You're not necessarily a believer in monogamy, but I'm gonna let you.
Yes, but you see, but you see, and that's where you need to understand. The tutors of monogamy who believe in monogamy are not better than me. I can teach you how to be monogamous because I don't believe in it. I understand the variables that you need to acquire and the behavior you need to tune yourself to for monogamy to work. Now, monogamous guys, or those who teach monogamy, are not monogamous. I meet them all the time. You should see the foolish shit they're doing in Naivasha. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare a guy who has seen many vaginas with a guy who's just seen 12. The guy who has seen 12 are the ones teaching people about monogamy. You've seen 12 or 2. Who are you to teach anyone? Us who understand that monogamy is a bit of a fallacy, I can teach you how to basically narrow down to that monogamy.
To stay on your
Let me give you a very good example. Let me give you a very good example. A couple that I have mentored for quite a while, they made a conscious decision to move from Kenya. Why? Because the information I gave them, what they took from it is Kenya, or where we're living in Kenya, does not have the conducive energy for our relationship to work. And because I want to nurture a family,
that's an indictment on the country.
You see? No. I'm telling you, these are real facts. You can't make them up. I didn't tell them to move, but right now they are literally looking for jobs in Tanzania. Because for them, they believe Tanzania is a country. I'm not saying people don't misbehave in Tanzania, but compared to Kenya, we are devils. So I can see why they want to go to Tanzania. That's what I'm saying.
Why is Kenya so devilish in nature in terms of sexuality?
That's another episode right now. Like let's just deal with devils in the office, because Kenya is. I've lived in 5 countries, and Kenya being the only one in Africa, and I have to say, well done, Kenya. You are the most oversexed country I've ever been to, ever. Like, England has got nothing on Kenya. Like, They're like nursery rhymes, and Kenyans are like PhD. It's the thing is, we just hide behind religion and being conservative. Why do you think all these expatriates love Kenya? They love Kenya because their sexual bodies are being tuned like no one else. Like you have no idea. And Kenya, you can find anything. You can find any nationality in Kenya, and it's kinky. I've met men who have told me that your country is crazy. Like, I used to be a family man, and I don't know what happened to me. Like, I find myself in random plans, and because I can afford it, I do it. You know, like the way guys go to Naivasha. There's a guy who moved to Kenya, got a corporate job here, came with his family, and now he finds himself doing random stuff in Zanzibar. You know, that's his like out of town thing with his boys. And obviously in Zanzibar, they're not playing golf or fishing. They're dealing with vaginas. So Kenya is thriving when it comes to sexual energy. Why do you think Naivasha and all these, they'll always be booked. Always.
Malindi Diani.
Always.
Lamu.
Always. This is like the Sin City of Africa.
No.
It is.
No.
You have South Africa, yes, but Kenyans are, wow. For where we are at, we are known. Oh, you have no idea. This, like Nairobi is just, like,
Kilimani.
Like trust me, man.
Kilimani.
Like if
Kilimani.
Unless the two of you are very strict and very conservative, managing a relationship in Nairobi, I mean, you need to know like cage fighting and stuff. Like it's like Russian roulette kind of thing. It's crazy. So that's just who we are. That's just who we are.
So you're telling us how to deal with, you know, falling in love with somebody in the office. That was the trajectory.
Yeah, but you see, now that you've put it as falling in love, before you said attraction means,
okay, let's go with falling in love.
Yeah, although
attraction, yes.
Falling in love really is more of the neurochemicals in your brain telling you, having you have certain feelings that are strong, and how you translate them is falling in love. And all it is before you ever get to know the person, that's just lustful energy. You lust for that person. You can't have fallen in love with them because you know nothing about them. That's because you could go for a few dates with them and then suddenly you're no longer in love. Why? Because you've realized that illusion of falling in love is your perception of them in the office. Oh my God, look at her. She's amazing. Crazy skin, her tone, her breasts, her thighs. Look at the way she works. Oh, she's one of the managers. She's this. That's your brain tricking you. But the minute you sit down with this person, you might change that. So you've not fallen in love. It's just lustful energy. There's nothing wrong with lustful energy. I wish married people could manifest lustful energy. Then there'll be more bonking in marital beds. Can't even believe I said the word marital. I say that very infrequent. So you find that at the end of the day, you're always going to be attracted to somebody at some point. The same way you go to a club and you see a woman, and you're like, wow, she is pretty. That's an attraction. You may lie to yourself if you look at her too over like, oh my God, you know, if I was not in this relationship, I would be dating her. That's your quest. That's your dream line. But it doesn't mean that a relationship with that person would work. We have a lot of imagination. We have a lot of perceptions that lie to us. And as you get older, you get to understand that a lot of our falling in love is very about, it's like I'm a believer in the getaway holiday, in the short holiday where you fall in love and mentally you have 12 kids together. I'm a believer of that, rather than this love that lasts for 30 years and I really, really liked you for only one. The rest has just been a struggle. So I'd rather 2-week holiday where we just fell in love. When we were saying goodbye to each other, we cried. Because most people in marriages are not crying for each other, but they're crying in other beds. Trust.
You will explain that. So you are talking about how to deal with the attraction.
Yes, to be honest, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to somebody. It's just how you handle it. And handling it is as simple as this. You have to look at the environment you're in. You're either going to decide you're going to tell this person, now, you know what, I wouldn't mind taking you out for coffee. But you're not going to tell the person, I love you, because you don't. What's happening is, what is love? If you break down love, it's a cocktail of neurochemicals. Most of them are very erratic, and that's why love as an ingredient, especially when you equate it with sex, is a very useless emotion. The love and care that we have for our kids, our siblings, our parents, that is real love because it's not sexualized. The problem is people sexualize love. I think I've said this before. Stop sexualizing love. It's as simple as that. So the woman that you are in love with, trust me, if tomorrow she had a penis, I don't think you'd love her anymore. So the fact that you're attracted to her is because she has feminine traits, feminine sexual attributes. That's why you're attracted to her. I don't think you've just been looking at her nose. Oh my God, she's got such a nice nose. Wow, look at her forehead. What structure? No, what are the things you looked at? Be honest. When you saw that woman, you see, you're smiling because you know exactly what I'm talking about. What did you see in the woman? What did you see in the woman?
The breasts.
There you go. You saw her nipples, maybe indentations. You saw what else? What else? You freaky guy. You saw the breasts. You saw the thighs. You saw her waist. You saw her butt. You know what I'm saying? So you saw feminine stuff. That's what attracts you to her. You were not attracted to her because, oh my God, that presentation you did yesterday. Oh my God, and that forehead of yours. It must be a cage for a lot of brainy shit. No, that's not what you saw. You saw a feminine side. So let's be honest. I think we try and sugarcoat it to be more lovey-dovey. And lovey-dovey is why vaginas are suffering. Bring out the beast in you. That's the man in you. That's the attraction. Let's not lovey-dovey crap. That's not working. It's just not working. So let's quit that. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to her, but the environment you're in may not make you a good worker. Because if you're obsessing over her, it's not going to help. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the thing is this, women in the office, they dress to kill. Even their husbands in the morning, they're like, that's my wife? God damn, where is she going? Looks amazing in these work suits and stuff like that. And, you know, and depending on the day, blah, 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 and how she feels. And she feels sexy. You know what I'm saying? Nice high heels, blah, blah. So obviously the men in the office are going to be like, man, the guy who is married to her must be the luckiest guy. Yet he does not see that side of her. He doesn't. He probably looks at her and just sees bills and problems. And when was the last time we actually went out and spoke about nothing else but family? But you are attracted to her because for you, she's just a woman. You don't share bills. You don't share concerns. You don't share family. You don't share in-laws. You just share a visual image of, wow, that is amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a really nice picture of a Rottweiler. You'd be like, oh, that's a really nice dog. Versus the guy who was in company of a Rottweiler who bit him. So sometimes the people we're married to at home, they're Rottweilers. And in the biting way, not in the picture way. So you've got to understand why you're attracted to that person. But you could be delusional to think that that person is a better option than what you have at home. That's why you're saying you're in love with her. You're in love with the thought, the same way people are in love with so many things. I've met enough couples that I've mentored who are in love with the idea of marriage, but once they were in the marriage, by the time they realized they were in love with the idea, it was too late because now they have 2 kids. So now you have to, as Kenyans say, persevere, sacrifice, all the crap that humans have to do just to coexist. So really, you're not wrong to feel attracted to somebody. We all are, but it's what you do with the attraction. Look at women. Women can see a very cute guy. She looks at him and she goes, oh, damn, that guy. He is, what is it that women call us? Eye candy or whatever. And then the minute he fades off, she's done. She's gone back. She's working. Us men, when we just see a butt, we start following it. We forget the project, the assignment. You come back to your desk, you're just thinking about that ass. So also men need to understand visual contact, connection, lust over, and then switch off. Come back here. After all, the ass is in the office. It's not going anywhere. So why are you obsessed? Why are you moving every time she goes to the canteen, you're also in the canteen. You're not hungry, she's hungry. Why are you loitering around our desk? Because now you're obsessed. Now that is not a good area to be in. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Have you ever been attracted to somebody in an office environment?
Yep.
You have. Exactly. It's normal. All of us have. It's just how we respond to it is what you need to teach people, so they understand why they behave the way they do.
And then what do you do with that information after you've understood?
You then now, this is something that's out of everybody's control. You then now consciously have that information, so you can decide, you can be like, it's good when you're at your computer and you look at an ass, and before you obsess, you're like, now I know why I obsess. And you smile. And the reason why you're smiling is because you've learned how not to take it too serious. You know, before you were looking at that ass and going like, if I miss out on that ass, I miss out on life as it is. My life is done. No, it's not. There's always a new ass. There's always a new penis. It's as simple as that. You've got to switch off. Work. It's important. And you'll only get there when you elevate people's knowledge of how things should work. It's like guys who touch women's butts without asking. You need to ask that guy. By the time your hand is touching a butt, what have you thought? Then he tells you, then now you break down why he thought that way. You need to get him to a point where you're like, you know what? You could do more with her butt than just touch it if she allowed you. So now let me teach you how to talk to women. So maybe if you're lucky, you touch more butts, but with consent. But until you don't demonize him, you have to teach him how to relearn why he does the way he does. He may think it's his right, so you have to show him why it's not his right. But if you don't teach people these things, they won't know. We always assume good behavior is natural. It's not. And then again, the measure of good behavior, somebody created that measure. Good behavior is not acceptable in a club, but it's acceptable in the office. The same boss who wrote the conduct book is the same boss slapping your ass because he's your boss in a club environment. He's the one who's telling you, I know you're working tomorrow, but you're not leaving till midnight. And please dance. So you're not dancing because you want to dance. You're dancing to please your boss. Because tomorrow, your boss could decide, well, considering you were not listening to me at the club, I'm going to make working for you miserable. Wow. That's power. So we've got to teach people why they behave they do so that they can stop it.
I've got scenarios.
Okay, let's do your scenarios.
One.
Yes.
Is that I am a lady.
Okay.
A guy tells me that he's attracted to me in the office.
Yes.
How do I go about it? And
yeah,
I am also attracted back, but I know the rules.
Okay. You're attracted back.
Yes.
That helps because until you said that, I was like, whoa, this might go very bad. If you're attracted to him, then it's as simple as you're grown-ups. You're in a grown-up environment. So why don't you agree that, why don't we take this outside? Which means we can have coffee and see where this goes. Or you could decide not to act on it and see where that goes. But the truth is, it's better to have the coffee and just agree maybe at some point that, you know what, I don't think this is going to work because neither of us are being productive. That's now you being sensible. But if you pretend that you're not going to have this conversation, you're going to lust over one another for a very long time, which means that period of time, you're not productive. In an ideal world, my answer would have been, well, you have no reason to be attracted to one another, but that's bullcrap. We live in a world where there are many neurochemicals that attract us to certain people. We're not the ones who decide where the attraction comes from. You could easily go into some pizzeria and the girl who's serving you, you're suddenly like, wow, she is so pretty. Like, I'd literally want to take her on a date. Not take her out so we can have a drink and hope you want to have sex with her. No. Like, you've quantified that, wow, this is a woman that I'd love to take out somewhere for a nice dinner, and then I make sure she gets home. But until you walked into that pizzeria, you didn't know you were going to meet her. So some of these things are out of our control. And I'm glad they are, because if everything was so measured, if we only knew we're going to meet our girlfriends and our wives in church, considering I haven't been to one for a very, very, very long time, I'll just be masturbating. See, I'm going with the story. So it's good that we've got an influx of places that we meet people. We spend a lot of time in workplaces, so those hours at the end of the day, the odds are we're going to be attracted to somebody. It's as simple as that. We're even polite to one another in the office. Maybe you don't pull doors, but suddenly you're pulling a door for this woman all the time. You're asking her, how are you, blah, blah, blah. You're offering her lunch. Even if she declines, you keep offering. At some point, she's like, wow, this guy's putting a lot of effort. Versus at home, no energy, no pulling of anything. Do you see what I'm saying? So attraction will always be there, and you won't control how it comes. It just, you won't.
Another scenario.
Yes.
32 years old.
Right.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
I am married.
Yes.
I have a boss who is a lady.
Yes.
And there is a promotion on the line.
Yes.
Good things on the line.
Right. Okay.
And she's telling me
yes.
that we need to have something.
Yes.
You know, for all this to happen. Like you said.
Yes.
I'm going to make your life very difficult. If you don't do this.
Yes.
Yes.
And she may not have said it that way.
Yes, of course.
She would have said it in a very polite way, but you understand. You read between the lines.
Yes.
So you're asking me what he should do?
Yes.
If it was me.
Yeah. It's not you, Matheka.
I think my boss would be squirting all over my face. I would be a boss soon enough.
It is not you.
Right.
It's not you.
Okay, let's put it this way. It's not that I've not been asked by somebody. I have been called by numerous people, both men and women, who have asked me, I'm in that position right now, and Matheka, what should I do? And to be honest, I always tell them that because you've actually called me, you would have declined, but you just needed another voice to confirm to you that you're not mad, you're not crazy. You're human. The only reason you've called me is not for us to discuss whether you should do it. You've decided to do it, but because Matheka and his madness and what he talks about is the one person who's not going to judge you, I'm just going to tell you what your environment looks like. At the end of the day, if you don't do it, somebody else will. But you've made that conscious decision even before you call me. I'm just that voice who's going to tell you, you know what? If you need that promotion bad enough, as they say, mwanaume effort. Msichana is effort. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, but not everyone is going to get somewhere because of merits. First and foremost, we live in a world where merits mean very little. There are too many guys with degrees and crazy qualifications. And if you look at the people who end up in those positions, they don't have those qualifications. They just rubbed somebody's foot, somebody's back, and did it very well. And then they got the position. So if you are just relying on the fact that you're clever, you're going to be a clever idiot. It's the world we live in. I'm sorry. It's just the world we're living. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's the world we live in. So tough.
You're assuming that the guy wants to do it.
No. I'm not assuming.
I am assuming
yes.
that the guy doesn't want to do it.
No. I'm not assuming that he wants to do it. I'm not assuming he wants to do it. But all I'm saying is, if he doesn't want to do it, what's the next step?
That's what I'm asking for.
So let's assume he goes to HR and tells HR, my boss, who is HR's boss, is asking me for sex. What do you think HR is going to do with that information?
Let's create scenarios. What are they going to do?
I'm talking about something I've already seen people go through. I've done this for a very long time, dude. Yeah. So I'm not a spring chicken. So, and what happens
You're
is
not a what?
Spring chicken. But sometimes I do taste like one. But the point is, there are women. Let's look at the woman scenario, who have been told this, and she went to the right channel to say, you know what? I feel like this is like sexual discrimination or whatever you want to call it, and things didn't work out very well for her because HR could do nothing about it because that's the boss, and she gets a disciplinary letter, not the boss, and thereafter instead of firing her, they just make her environment so miserable that she leaves. Is that fair? No. Is it the world we live in? Yes. Stuff is stuff. We're no longer in the 1940s. This is not the picket fence kind of scenario. This is a rough world. And depending on which office environment you're in, we can argue about morality all we want, but their environments what we're not going to be in control of. They are bosses who are going to ask for things that people don't want to do, and people will do them. As simple as that. And the way I see it is this. Dude, if fucking somebody is going to change my life, when I usually do it for free and nothing changes, we be fucking. Oh, we gonna be writing stuff. That's the only time sweating makes sense. We're sweating for nonsense, free stuff. What the hell? You're driving back to a resort, your penis is having a conversation with your balls.
300,000 Kenya shillings is on the table, you are saying. That's what you're saying.
Not only that, forget that. Maybe your boss or maybe somebody is about to sign a contract for $80,000 and all you need to do is shag them. For $80,000? Where am I signing? We are signing this stuff so fast. I suddenly have a lot of energy. Oh, we are doing this. We are. Dude, we're doing this for free in clubs. For free. If anything, it's a deficit in the morning. Who told me to buy these bottles? Who was drinking them? I only remember drank one drink. What the hell?
I don't want to do it.
Who paid for all this food? I don't want to do it. Only two.
I don't want to do it. I'm coming to you, Matheka. I'm telling you I don't want to do it.
Then guess what? I don't think anyone in the office is going to force you to do something. But now you'll have to deal with the consequences. I don't think we're here to discuss the consequences. I'm just saying there are consequences. Considering your boss has kind of hinted they are. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying everyone should go bunking. I'm just saying that we live in the real world. So let's talk about what the real world looks like. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And to be honest, we are living in a world where monetary value is something. Do you know what I'm saying? And men and women are being offered a lot. The question is whether you want to take it or not. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. I've met guys who like, you know what? When I was in the corporate world, I had a lot of morals. But I wish I didn't, because the guys who didn't have them are far richer than me. Now, you can tell that person, okay, you're not rich, you're struggling, but aren't you happy? How sellable is that for most people? Do you want to be struggling and happy, or do you want to be rich? How many people are going to go for rich versus struggling and happy? Let's be honest. Which world are we living in? The problem is, in all these podcasts, whether it's on TV, whatever, let's stop lying to people. Let's give them the breakdown of reality. Do you know what I'm saying? Morals don't count for anything if you're lying to people. Give them the moral aspect of this is the avenue that you could take. But later on in life, do not complain that I wish I had, because that moment is gone. There's a person who was graduated to a branch in Europe while you're still languishing in the same desk in Nairobi. And all they had to do is do one.
What's that?
Exercise their mouth. That's all they did. For a night or an afternoon. And some of these niggas, they sleep after 2 minutes. 2 minutes of work. And you end up in Europe in some desk, earning thousands of dollars. You're happy, you're cruising, nice holidays. Kids are in nice schools. And all you have to do is exercise your mouth. Man, let me exercise mine right now.
This interview is over.
I feel like I'm in a chalet somewhere in Europe right now.
This interview is over.
You know what I'm saying? I'm having like spasms and orgasms in my mouth. Dude, real world. Let's talk about the real world.
The real world is rough.
It is rough, so you got to make choices.
Yeah.
Make sure you make the right one. It's as simple as that.
we are going to get into questions that have been sent to me on inbox. Knowing that Matheka is going
of course,
to be there.
yes.
But before we do that,
Okay.
we're going to go into questions. But now,
Yes.
You are an employer, and there's chaos.
Yes. What kind of chaos?
Bathrooms, stairs, things are going on.
Is that chaos?
You
I
can,
thought the office was being robbed. That's chaos.
You can use your language, but I'm telling you,
Yes.
I'm telling you what is going on. You understand, right?
Yes, I understand.
Yes. How do you bring sanity back here?
I'm the employer. I'd probably contact somebody like Matheka so he can come and fine-tune some of my employees, because they don't see me as somebody who has any qualification to talk to them about that, because they probably say, yeah, when you usually fuck off to play golf, we know you're not playing golf, so yeah, who are you to judge us? So I think they just need somebody who can come and talk to them and break down why they behave the way they do, and also formulate ways of how they can channel that energy into other things. You could actually help somebody to understand why they're channeling so much energy, sexual energy, in the office and not at home. So indirectly, you could actually be giving therapy to a couple who do not know they're getting therapy. I've seen that happen. And I've only seen that happen because a guy calls you and tells you, you spoke at our company, and some of the things that you said made me change my mind about a few things. But unless they have that information, you do not know the ripple effect. It's as simple as that. So if I was an employee, that's what I'll do, because writing people letters to reprimand them and stuff, it's not going to work, because you're not switching off the human in them. They're just going to be clever at hiding it. That's not helping. That means they're using more energy to hide their corridor kissing. They shouldn't be kissing in the corridor, but that can only be limited if they understand that that energy could be diverted somewhere else. It's as simple as that.
Right.
Makes sense?
It's bonkers.
I'm a crazy guy, but I'm knowledgeable.
So you can train the camera. The camera will be on him all the time when he's answering the questions. You can just hear me from the questions that were sent. Crazy ones.
When were these questions sent? Let's just start there.
Huh?
When was the question sent?
Last week.
Okay. To do with the topic?
No.
Just in general?
Some
Okay.
to do with the topic.
Yeah,
some
all right, let's do this.
Crazy. Can I really break his penis?
Can you break his penis?
Yeah, whatever happening, there are gymnastics going on around the sex.
Penises have been bent to the point where they're hurting. Well, unless you're doing it intentionally, you could break a penis. But no, it's rare. You might get into a position where he might not feel it now, because sex has a way of flooding the body with neurochemicals that actually numb any pain, and you might feel it later. But no, the odds are you're not going to break his penis, not unless you intentionally fall in a direction that could hurt him. So no.
I wonder why they're asking this question though.
Well, maybe she's just fucking somebody who's weak. Maybe he goes like, ouch, too often. Who knows? I'm not there, so I can only speculate.
Damn. These are really wild questions. I'm not embarrassed about this.
No, don't be embarrassed. Just ask the question. I'm the one answering them. So you're just asking. I'm answering. Like, what the hell? Yeah, so ask.
What should I do if a condom comes off inside me?
The condom comes off inside her.
Yes.
Okay. I think her worry is, has the semen spilled from the condom? Well, first, if the condom is inside the vagina, I think the prudent action would be to remove it. Thereafter, maybe go for a test with him. There's also the probability that semen is now inside your vagina. It's down to what the two of them agree, but I see what her concerns are. She needs to just tell him that, and he would notice, because the condom is no longer on his penis. So he should be the first guy to go like, oops, I think the condom has been left somewhere hanging out. Yeah, thereafter the two of them decide what they're going to do. But yeah, there's a possibility that...
There's a possibility there.
Yes.
Is it possible to pee during sex?
During the act or
I
just...
don't know. I don't
well,
know.
there are golden showers, but golden showers are intentional, and I don't think they're asking
what are
about...
golden showers?
Where
Maybe they're the ones.
No, they're not. They're not. Trust me, they're not. The golden showers is not something that everybody's going to do in life. Only the minority, and minority is minority. Golden showers is where somebody has a fetish for you peeing on them. So I don't think that's what they're discussing.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So what they're saying is, if it's a female, she's probably had sex, and the male girth of his penis has rubbed on her G-spot wall, and that caused her to feel like she wanted to pee. That feeling of peeing happens to some women, not that many, but it happens to some women. Some, by the time I'm teaching them about squirting, that's what they felt. So all that tells me is her G-spot membrane only moves slightly, not a lot, enough for her to feel like she wants to pee. So maybe it's happened once or twice, and she's always thought, is that me feeling like peeing? And some women actually stop the sex. They fuck off to the loo, and nothing comes out, and then she comes back. And because it just means the guy has good girth. Good girth. Girth is good for the vagina. Unless you're dealing with the semen dispenser, because he doesn't last long enough to even deal with your vagina. He's usually asleep, which sometimes is terrible. It's bad when a man can only showcase how he sleeps, because I'm sure that's not the study she was following. So next question.
Yeah, this is very strange.
Okay.
How can you prevent, I don't know how to spell this word, to pronounce this word. Queffing?
Queffing. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Queffing. What's... Yes?
She says, I mean the trapped air in the vagina.
Oh, it's vagina farts. They're called vagina farts. Vagina farts... Let me talk to the camera. Vagina farts are normal. If anything, if a guy's causing you to have vagina farts, well done, matey. Well done. It means he has girth. His penis has substance. And all it is every time the penis goes in and goes out, when it's going out, air, because your vagina tract is like that, it's not crumbled. You know, with guys with small penis, it just crumbles again. It goes back like, God, we're so tired. Yeah, so with a guy with good girth, it remains open. The tract remains open, which is amazing. It's like watching, a tube station in the UK, which is a totally different episode there in itself. So what's happening is when the penis comes out, air goes in, and then when the penis is going in, air is pushed out. So you have that vagina fart, that... Oh, it's an amazing sound. It's an amazing sound. So if you have a guy who's giving you vaginal farts, kudos to that guy. Save him in a way that you'll never delete his number. Make sure he's saved on Google and Yahoo and many other things. Yeah, so brilliant. That's vagina farts are nothing to be embarrassed about.
You are always talking about squatting. What exactly is squatting?
Squatting?
Yes.
I love the way you say I'm always talking about it. I love it, man. Squirting is amazing. Squirting is, you see this water here? You see this water? Oh, this water is amazing, but it's not as good as squirting. Go on, give me a minute.
Explain one.
I feel like I've just swallowed somebody's squirt. Amazing. So, squirting is when it is a byproduct from the urethra of ejaculation of a woman. It's water that squirts from the urethra, where the woman pees from. The same way us men, we have our penis, and our penis has a urethra. When you go to pee, pee comes out of the urethra. When you ejaculate semen, it comes out of the urethra. It's not like we've got another hole over there just chilling for another use. That would be odd. So we all have a urethra that ejaculates fluid. For men, pee, and semen. For women, it's pee. And then the squirting water, which is just delicious depending on what her diet is, especially her citric diet and stuff. So it's when a woman has a vaginal spasm that causes water to ejaculate from her urethra.
Water?
Yes, water. Like water. from the body. It's just amazing. It's so tasty.
Okay. I don't know about that.
I've tasted many, so I should know.
I want to get back to my ex.
Okay. And make a squat. What? Oh, is this another story?
This is the question. I want to get back to my ex.
Okay. I love the way I mix those two. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You want to go back to your ex?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's what the question.
That's it.
Yes.
I want to go back to your ex. Then go back. There should be more to that. Like,
there's so much that's not been said here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's such an open-ended kind of thing. If you want to go back to your ex, first find out if...
Somebody who has done psychology and done sexology, you understand the question. I don't understand it.
No, actually, I don't. The question is far too broad for me to understand it. What I understand is there are many attributes that could be based on one. Find out whether that's a possibility. Have you told your ex that you still have feelings for your ex? You should start there. I don't think the question is going back to my ex a problem. Then the answer there is it's a problem if your ex is not even aware. Or what was the reason the ex became an ex, and is there a possibility of that reason continuing?
The question is too broad.
Yeah, so,
leave it out.
But it's as simple as that.
Yes.
If you want to go back to your ex, find out if there's an avenue to go back, because there are many reasons why you could be going back. There's nothing wrong with going back with your ex.
I feel like there are some of these questions we shouldn't answer, actually.
No. All questions should be answered, because, you see, we're teaching your audience that there are many ways of thinking. We can't narrow down.
Like this one,
Okay.
am I a whore for having a 3-night stands in 1 week?
3-night stands in 1 week.
Yes.
Then I must have qualified as a whole a long time ago, because that used to be the measure of my sexuality when I was a bit younger. Not now. I can't be bothered, to be honest.
So now answer them.
Are you a hoe? No. And the only reason why you're asking if you're a hoe is because you're measuring it based on societal morality, which I just laugh to because it's boring. So you're not. You're not a hoe. You're not a hoe.
I'm currently dating 3 men.
Fantastic.
I am in love.
I was going to say who is it, and then I remembered, shit, I'm not. Yeah,
Should I tell them?
Should you tell the 3 men that you're dating them? Well, I think there's a reason why you haven't told them. Otherwise, you'd have just been going like, I'm dating you, but there's a follow-up. He's coming. Like, you didn't do that. So the answer is no.
Don't tell them.
You see, if you want to tell them, there are consequences. It's as simple as that. Why are you telling them? Let's put it this way. If you are dating 3 men and you're gaining from the 3 men, there are odds that if you tell them, whatever you're gaining from them will disappear. So you have to look at it that way. But if all 3 are suddenly going to be buddies, then that's good. The odds of that happening, especially if they're Kenyan men, is very slim. So don't tell them. You have to look at the society you live in. If you are one of them, would you want to know there's 2 other guys? I wouldn't mind. I don't have time to be there all the time, so I don't mind being a side guy.
These interviews.
May have side guy qualities.
The questions.
Jagero, I know you're not answering because you would not love to be the 3 musketeers or the 4 musketeers.
That's the questions, man. So, Matheka.
Yes.
As always, thank you very much for showing up.
Hey.
That is more than an hour of
It's always fun, man. It's always fun.
It's always fun.
It's always fun.
What do you want to talk about next? We are doing the series, but what do you want to talk about now? What has been on your mind lately?
I think you're putting me on the spot because
Okay. Let me know
right now what's on my mind is the fact that I've been drinking this water like it's squirt. Let me do that again. Right now I'm not in the mood to multitask, so I think we will sit down
and talk about it.
But we are doing a series. But we are doing a series, guys. We're going to do a series just for you guys. I've really enjoyed doing episodes with my brother here. The energy is great. Conversations are great. Let's hope that we can not just do Kenya, but travel Africa, even if the world, and just share what we know, man. Try and help people. I know we sit here and we talk about different topics and stuff like that, and we have a laugh, but for me, it's good if at the end of the road, we can literally impact people's lives to understand who they are in the different categories that they are. I think it's good to leave some kind of, you know, impression with people out there.
I think a lot of people will have a lot to say about sex and relationship in the office. And I think I've learned also as a person some of the things that meet us along the way.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I want to wrap up. So that was Dialogues with Jagero and Maurice Matheka. I always love having him on set. He brings a lot of energy, brings a lot of love. So guys, please leave a comment. Ask as many questions as possible. Probably one of these days we'll go live with Matheka on TikTok and discuss these questions that we are having. But for now, thank you very much. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Cheers.
Cheers.